Viewpoint, I'm Zakka Jacob. There was widespread violence today in the state of Kerala by PFI activists. This was a day after there was a large-scale arrest of PFI leaders from Kannur and Kasaragod in the north of the state to Thiruvananthapuram in the south. Public transport was targeted, schools and colleges were shut, and business establishments were attacked. And this is despite an explicit Kerala High Court order banning hartals or flash strikes of any form. Why should anyone have to resort to violence to make a political point? Why should there be any tolerance for those who take the law into their own hands? And why should the large majority of moderate Muslims in this country hold the can for extremist organizations like the PFI?
Destruction, vandalism, anarchy. A day after the biggest crackdown on Popular Front of India, its members went on a rampage in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The PFI had called a bandh to protest against the midnight raids and arrest of its key leaders by central agencies. But PFI members used their hartal call as an excuse to go on a vandalism spree. State-owned buses and auto rickshaws were pelted with stones.
Inside this bus, we can see that there are fragments of glass that is there all over. There are big stones that are inside this. So this is a condition in most of the vehicles where buses have been damaged like this.
Tires were burnt and even private vehicles were not spared.
That the hartal supporters, they took away the key and blocked the road. Now the police have gave a direct connection and now they have started this truck. So the technique was to just to block the truck and take away the key.
PFI workers were even caught on camera hurling petrol bombs at the offices of the RSS and the BJP. In some places, PFI workers tried to forcibly shut shops that were open despite their hartal call, but locals gave it back to them. The protest turned violent. The Kerala High Court initiated suo motu cognizance against PFI leaders for calling flash hartal despite it being banned by the court earlier.
So far in all across state, more than 400 persons have been put under preventive arrest and more than 500 persons have been arrested.
From being a threat to national security to vandalizing public property, is it time to ban the PFI once and for all?
All right, but first let's take a look at how widespread the violence and vandalism today in Kerala was. This is all the way starting from Kannur and Wayanad in the northern part of the state, Kozhikode, which is the third biggest city in the state. That entire belt, which is called Malabar, public transport was targeted, schools and colleges were shut. But it's not just there. It's also in the southern districts, Alappuzha, Pattanamthitta, Thiruvananthapuram. Again, places where you would imagine that the PFI's strength or its tentacles haven't spread that far and wide enough. Even in those places, you saw large-scale violence today. In Tamil Nadu, again, it was in the city of Coimbatore, which is, of course, the biggest city bordering Kerala. It was a spillover effect of the violence that we saw in Kerala spilling over across the border into Tamil Nadu. So clearly, a bulk of the violence today concentrated in Kerala as well as in Tamil Nadu, despite the fact that there are explicit orders. The Supreme Court has explicitly banned any kind of Bharat Bandh. The Kerala High Court has put up multiple orders saying that no one can call for flash strikes or hartals. And yet, today, what we have seen is widespread disruption of normal life across the length of Kerala. Let me go across to Vikram Singh. He's former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, joining us. Aarti Agarwal is author and researcher. Dr. Tara Karta is former director of the National Security Council Secretariat. And Maulana Ali Qadri will be joining us, Islamic scholar. Let me start with Vikram Singh first. They say in India, if the police force in any state wants to stop a riot, then even God cannot create a riot. So tell me what exactly happened today, because what we saw today, sir, was widespread violence. It was in the northern districts, it was in the southern districts, and all of this seemingly to protest the arrest of certain leaders of the PFI. How can anyone justify taking the law into their own hands and indulging in this kind of rank hooliganistic behavior?
Good evening, Zakka. You very rightly articulated that nobody has the right to take law in his own hands. But much as some people would like to believe that everybody has a democratic right to give peaceful protest and rightful resentment, the democratic right to voice their dissent. This is not a rightful dissent. This is violence, and the naked kind of violence. Obviously, the Kerala police were caught on the wrong foot. They did not probably anticipate that this would lead to hurling of petrol bombs to rival camps, and also this level of vandalism and widespread violence and breakdown of law and order machinery. Now, of course, perhaps they are very professional police. They would have taken their reinforcements, got reinforcements from the central government as well. But yes, they should have anticipated and had actionable intelligence to ensure that life is normal. We have disturbing scenes of bus drivers flying government buses, putting on helmets in anticipation of the fact that perhaps they may be attacked and they may be subjected to brick batting. Now, perhaps the police know what anti-riot gear is and what anti-riot drill is. Once the police also, I give you a second corollary to what the police, if the police want, there shall be no wanton destruction of property, and there cannot be anybody taking law in his own hands. Make it very clear. Let this be very clear. Kerala is a very professional police force, and once this has happened, I'm sure there'll be no replication. And those who have been identified in the video and the CCTV cameras must be booked tonight, not tomorrow. Tonight itself, picked up and then sent to jail and given a lesson of a lifetime.
Over 100 people have been rounded up across the state, allegedly belonging to the PFI. But, you know, the thing that I find absolutely astounding is, why are you targeting public transport vehicles? What is the fault of these public transport drivers that they have to wear helmets and drive the buses for fear of being pelted with stones? It's not like they came and arrested the PFI leaders. But be that as it may, let me ask Ghanshyam Tiwari. What is critical here, Ghanshyam Tiwari, is there is an explicit Kerala High Court order in 2019 which has banned flash hartals. In fact, that order goes on to say that if anyone wants to call out a hartal, they have to give 7 days notice. What the PFI has done today is basically cock a snook at that judgment. Surely the PFI is not above the law of this land.
Good evening, Zakka, to you, the viewers, and my fellow co-panelists. The law of the land and the way the government sees the law of the land is visible in the kind of hate architecture that BJP has put in India. Where a PFI becomes the news item, they have the ability to create this destruction of property, take law in their own hands, and the Home Minister is missing. Where is the Home Minister of India? What is he doing? Is he stopping PFI, which is apparently, as per BJP, across the country? No. He is further building the hate architecture in Bihar. The Supreme Court is talking about the role of media that participates in the hate architecture sponsored by BJP and this government. When you have the national government working to build hate architecture, when you have international agencies talking about how the over 55% of anti-Muslim hate tweets on internet came from India, and definitely BJP is a major participant, BJP supporting media is a major participant, then you don't know which is the end where we will start solving the problem. We can discuss the problem, but neither you nor the respective Vikram Singh knows that which is the right end of the problem. I believe the right end of the problem is Home Minister of India. He has to decide whether it is he is participating as Hate Minister of India or he is participating as a Home Minister of India, whose responsibility is communal harmony is maintained. Organizations that are against communal harmony, whether it is BJP and RSS based organizations or whether it is PFI, those organizations are checked, and the federal government is not playing against the state government for petty politics to engineer such organizations. The last but not the least, you have Mr. Siddaramaiah, former Chief Minister of Karnataka, going on record and saying that BJP is supporting PFI and SDPI and such organizations to divide society. So if BJP is at the core of the